My friends, today our talk is entitled Heart Worship versus Heart Worship, Part 2. Luke 7:39 says, Now when the Pharisee who had invited him saw this, he spoke to himself, saying, This man, if he were a prophet, would know who and what manner of woman this is who is touching him, for she is a sinner. One very important thing we need to understand, my friends, is that Jesus accepts worship from the person whose heart is filled with genuine love, genuine faith, and genuine humility. Even if that person's expression of worship does not seem to meet our expectations or standards. Once there is genuine faith, genuine love, genuine humility, Jesus accepts that person in His grace. This is the outworking of a thing called grace. Grace is the reason why the many characters of the Bible, especially in the Old Testament, were accepted by God. They all had serious issues that would make us at times wonder why God had any dealings with some of them. But the same grace that made Him accept those persons in ages past also makes Him accept us today. While we are only privileged to observe the externals, God sees and knows the heart of every individual, and He knows whose worship is true. Many of us who are meeting the standard are utterly rejected by Him because we lack genuine love, genuine faith, and genuine humility. We are self-deceived and lost, but are quick to point out the faults of others in our quest to make ourselves look good. The Pharisee, John tells us that his name was Simon. He was the father of Judas Iscariot, the betrayer, John chapter 12. He thought himself a righteous man, a man of great discernment and of distinguished class. This sinner woman he knew very well, quite likely a relative of his, since she had access to his home. He knew the life she lived, her immorality and her shame, and he thought that if Jesus knew what he knew, he wouldn't have allowed him to touch her, or allowed her to touch him. John tells us that this woman was Mary, John chapter 12. She came in during the party and that was being held in honor of Jesus, who had recently raised Lazarus from the grave. Lazarus was seated at the table with Simon the Pharisee. One of his sisters, Martha, was serving, and the other, Mary, was worshiping her Lord. She had a lot to be thankful for. Her brother, Lazarus, was raised from the dead. 7 devils were cast out of her, taking for granted that this is the same person mentioned in Luke 8, verse 2. And some believe that she was the woman who was caught in adultery. It's possible, but we cannot be certain. But the fact remains that she had a lot to be thankful for, and she wanted to express her gratitude to God in worship. To Simon, the woman looked the same. She was wearing the same sinner clothes, the same sinner hairstyle, and she had perfume bought with sinner money. Yes, to Simon, she was the same sinner, but Jesus knew she was born again. Externally, she looked the same, but she was not the same person. Her heart was filled with love, faith, and genuine humility. Simon was condemning her, but Jesus accepted her. Maybe if she were to come to church this Sabbath, some of us would condemn her too. Would you? Simon was even denouncing Jesus for accepting the woman. He rejected grace because grace did not reject her. Many righteous ones are rejecting grace today because grace does not reject the people they do. This one verse, Luke 7:39, illustrates to us the state of God's church today. In the church, there are some self-righteous Pharisees constantly criticizing and condemning They are repentant sinners just wanting to pour out their heart in gratitude and praise. And there is a loving Jesus, full of grace and truth, receiving, embracing, and justifying the wounded, repentant souls. In which category would you place yourself? Among the Pharisees or among the sinners? Is your heart filled with pride and contempt for others? Or is it filled with genuine love, genuine faith, and genuine humility? What is the state of your soul right now? Let me suggest some life lessons we can take from this story. Number one, the person whose heart has been touched by Jesus can never remain the same. Simon may have thought that Mary was the same as he knew her, but she was a different person. She may have looked the same, maybe in the same clothing, but her heart was different. Men look at the outward appearance, but God sees the heart. Number two, when our heart has been touched by Jesus, nothing is too much to give him. The value of the gift that Mary was pouring out on Jesus' feet, using to wash his feet, it was equivalent to almost 1 year labor. But it was a light thing for her to give to her Lord because of the gratitude and the love that filled her heart. Number three, when we are worshiping God in spirit and in truth, the enemy often raises up someone to seek to discredit our worship and make it seem like we are worshiping in vain. But guess what? Worship God anyway. Let no one stop you. Number four, Jesus accepts your expressions of worship when it is motivated by genuine love, genuine faith, and genuine humility. He knows our heart. Number five, sometimes the one who seeks to discredit our worship are themselves the real impostor. Just like Simon the Pharisee, Simon the leper. He was seeking to discredit Mary's worship. But Jesus revealed that he is a true hypocrite. Sometimes the one who seeks to discredit your worship are themselves the true impostor. May God help us by his grace to have our heart filled with genuine love for Jesus and his people, genuine faith and genuine humility, so that our worship can be acceptable to him. Please transform us, O God, and let our worship be true. Help us to grow in grace and become more like you. Amen.